Hey man, do you speak English?
Yes.
Yeah, have you seen that before?
Yes.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
Are you German?
Hey?
Are you German?
No, I'm Australian.
And you are one of the protesters here?
Yeah, I'm a protester.
I just came here. I just ran over from the Alexander place just to have a discussion with you guys.
Oh, perfect. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
So
I know those pictures.
Yeah, what do you think about this? So just pretty much animal agriculture in general, animal exploitation. What do you think about that?
Actually, I think I know it's true, and mostly it's happening because like we have like some small like farms where it's like good behaviors of the farmers.
What's good about those farms?
That animals have nice living conditions.
Nice living conditions. Can you describe that?
Space, like the possibility, like to spend their time with their children, be in the mud, for example. I would describe that as good for pigs.
Okay.
As obvious as we can see the rest, this is like.
So you're saying if
unnatural.
Sure. So you're saying factory.
Mit dieser Tante geredet und die hat versucht mich hier irgendwie.
So you're saying factory farms, they're bad, but if there was like a local farm where they treat the animals nicely, that's good.
Yes.
Where do you think the animals go when they need to be killed for food? Whether it's in a nice farm or a factory farm?
Nice farm. If it's
Where do they
a
go?
perfect farm, they get shot.
They get shot
Directly, but that isn't the reality of the most.
So do you think it's justifiable to shoot an animal in the head?
Yeah, that's the best way, and their like natural habits in their like compound of other animals.
What if you had the choice to not shoot an animal in the head and choose the vegan option? Would you choose that over killing an individual?
Yes, because I think death is like a part of circle of life.
Really? So if you were gonna be murdered and someone said it's part of the circle of life, that's okay?
In my opinion, this is not a point because it's a pig. I'm a human. It's like
They're a
different
pig,
species.
not an it. So an it means an object, right?
I meant pig. I didn't.
You said it. Anyway, what's the difference between murdering an animal versus murdering a human animal? What's the difference? Why would you justify one?
A human has a much bigger like complex of like thinking and being. Like, I don't know the English word, like bewusst. It's not. I think probably not.
Sure. So you're saying that humans are more complex than non-humans?
Yes.
Okay. So, but what if there were humans that are born with a disability and aren't as complex
Like
as
in
say
this
us?
case, we wouldn't eat them. In this case, humans are not in factories and treated like animals. I think that's not a point in my opinion. If we go to the climate change, like I understand, bro. It's obvious. Animals produce like CO.
But we're not focusing on the environment.
Okay.
We're focusing on their rights. We believe that they have an equal right to live, just as you do. I wouldn't shoot you in the head for the same reason I wouldn't shoot them in the head. Would you agree with that? If you have the option to be a vegan, why would you not choose the option of non-abuse?
Personally, in my opinion, I'm eating meat because I think it's healthy.
You think it's what, sorry?
It's healthy.
Oh, it's healthy. Do you not think that you can be a healthy vegan?
Yes, I think, but not as good. Because, like, in my opinion, perfect food is like if you eat meat, red meat, for example, if you eat fruits, vegetables, and everything. And I think meat is a big take in this human.
All right, well, you do know that you can get all the same nutrients in a vegan diet and be just as healthy.
You can.
Yeah. Leading dietetic, you know what a dietitian is? A nutritionist?
Nutrition? What
People that study nutrition, the science of nutrition.
Okay.
It's pretty well established that you can thrive as a vegan. There's millions, tens of millions of vegans around the world. So knowing that you can be just as healthy on a vegan diet, again, what's stopping you from just not abusing animals?
Are you vegan?
Yeah, I'm vegan.
Okay, vegan. You're doing like sports and stuff like that?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What do you do?
Basketball.
Basketball sport. Yeah, nice sport. I think that's everyone's personal decision. So if you decide to eat...
But what about their personal decision? Do you not think that
they don't have one? The thing is, they live because I am eating them. They're just because, I want to eat them, and that's the reason why they get like kind of produced, let's say it like that.
Because do you think that actually justifies causing that type of abuse to animals, shooting them in the head when you have the option not to?
Yes.
It does justify it?
Yes.
So I'll ask you a question then. Are you against animal abuse?
No.
You're not against animal abuse?
Oh, no, I am against.
You are against animal abuse. Do you actually think it's possible to consume animal products
Yes. In my
and
opinion,
not cause animal
if you
abuse?
treat them rightly.
So you said, but you'll shoot them in the head.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
not
the-
abuse?
No, that's the best way to kill them, because like if they go to those big factory killings, I don't know the exact word, it's very stressful for the animals, and the stress goes into the meat, and it's like also stressful for a human to eat it.
If someone came along and shot you in the head right now, would that not be abuse?
I am a human.
Is that
This
abuse?
Is an animal.
No, but is that abuse?
Yes, in this case.
So why is it not abuse for the animal?
Because I would say, sounds kind of hard, but pigs and humans have different worth. Let's say.
Do you know? Can you define abuse for me?
Abuse
Yeah. What is the definition?
of abuse. If you are doing something which is against your will, for example.
To inflict harm or cruelty?
What?
To harm somebody or be
Bro,
cruel?
my English is not that good. What's harm?
Harm, so hurt.
Hurt. That's not good.
That's abuse. Do you think shooting somebody in the head is abusing them?
Yes, but it depends or if it's an animal or a human. That's my point.
No, but I'm trying to say, what's the difference? What's the trait that an animal, that a human has that an animal doesn't have, that makes it okay for you to shoot an animal in the head but not
The
a
view
human?
of reality, I think the human brain is much more complex than a
Would you say that a human adult has a more complex understanding of the world than a child? You have a more complex...
yes, because he lives longer and
Sure, but does that... So are you okay with shooting a child in the head then?
no, because as I said before, as I mentioned,
But you just said humans have a more complex understanding and reasoning.
yes, and even
But you have more complex reasoning than a human child, but you wouldn't shoot the human child in the head.
well, you
is that
got
true?
a point. You got a point.
Yeah, man.
But
So again, let me ask you, what's going to stop you from no longer paying for animals to be shot in the head, whether it's on a nice farm or a factory farm? What's just stopping you from just choosing the option that involves no abuse, no murder?
The reason why I still eat meat. if
Yeah,
I
what's
could.
stopping you? What's stopping you from going vegan?
I think my habits, I would say, like to eat
habits?
meat.
You're used
like
to it, yeah.
I'm used to it, and also, like my opinion, I think meat is healthy, and I'm thinking that, for example, like meat replacements, for example, like meatball of vegetables, for example, I think that's unhealthy.
Oh, well, yeah, so
That's the other
the
point.
same as in a vegan diet, the same as a non-vegan diet, you can get healthy foods and you can get unhealthy foods. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So do you think you can choose to live vegan and still be healthy? The science shows that?
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
I don't
even
believe
if
that.
even if the science is showing that? People that study this.
Look, that's my point. There are so many studies which prove, okay, don't if you're vegan, it's no problem. But on the other side, they're like also like like the carnivore diet or stuff that you just eat meat.
Okay, what about every vegan living that's healthy? Are you saying they're not healthy? Like I'm not healthy? I've been vegan for 6 years. Am I
I
not
think
healthy?
you probably maybe have like some.
Even if I go
issues,
do
like,
I go do blood tests, my bloods are fine. Every vegan I know, everyone that I've asked that, they all have fine bloods. Some, and science actually shows that a lot of vegans are actually healthier than non-vegans. But let's put this aside. Hold on, let's put this aside. Let's just say we're equally healthy, because that's probably what the best available science is, right? Knowing that, again, you can just be healthy. What's going to stop you from just living vegan? Because you said you're against animal abuse, right? Yeah?
Yes, I said that.
Shooting somebody in the head is a form of abuse, whether that's done nicely, because you wouldn't like it for yourself. What's actually going to stop you, man? Would you consider it at some point in the future? Veganism.
What could stop me from eating meat? Or
Well, let me ask you that question. What would you consider going vegan at some point in the future?
maybe if I'm
Why?
like.
Why would you be convinced to do it
I
at some
think
point?
first of all, like in my future, I want to be like professional sportler, and if I'm like saying, okay, I really think this is healthy, I will have no issues. I will,
There are many professional vegan athletes.
but not the most probably. Most probably eat like.
Yeah, because you can do
Also
both. The science shows that you can be just as fit being a vegan and not vegan. So would you? So you said you would consider it at some point in the future?
Yeah.
Okay, but now let's imagine yourself in the animal's position. You're going to be shot in the head, right? You're going into a factory farm because 99% of them are going into a factory farm.
Yeah.
Would you want your oppressor to go vegan in the future, or would you want them to go vegan as soon as possible?
I would like them to go vegan as soon as possible.
Absolutely, man.
Obviously.
Obviously, because you would want this to stop as soon as possible, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to stop you from going vegan today? Why not go vegan today?
Well, you convinced me a little bit. Like
Convinced you a little bit?
no, like yeah.
No, I can hear what you're saying. I know what you mean.
What stopped me from getting vegan today?
Yeah, man. Because you only have to walk to the grocery store. Do you live here in Berlin?
No, I'm just with my.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You go to any grocery store, you choose the non-vegan option, or you can just choose the vegan option.
Nothing would stop me from getting
Nothing
vegan.
stopping you, man.
Nothing
stopping you. I was the same as you 6 years ago, man. To be honest, I was never going vegan. But then, as I had conversations like this with people, I realized I was being a hypocrite. Because I said I was against it.
What's a hypocrite?
A hypocrite is somebody that goes against their beliefs.
Oh, okay.
So you believe in not abusing animals, but every time you pay for animals to go to a slaughterhouse, you're going against your own belief. So you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So was I.
Oh.
But then one day I decided, look,
change your life.
it's easy, man. It's easy. It really is. And you feel so good about it because you know you're not paying for that anymore. Would you feel better about yourself if you went vegan one day? Today?
I think so.
You would. So nothing's stopping you anymore. Is this a sign to go vegan?
I'm gonna think about it.
You're gonna think about it?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll just say that every day that you choose not to be a vegan, and you keep thinking about it, those animals are going to be murdered and abused on your behalf. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. But actually, to counteract, they're just getting abused because I'm consuming meat. So okay.
Well, yeah, because do you know what supply and demand is? When you demand something, they have to give you it when you pay for it.
Yeah.
So by paying them, you're essentially paying the hitman to go shoot animals in the head because of you. It's as simple as that, really. So long as you keep thinking about it, animals are going to be shot in the head because of you. Sounds like you need to make the right decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna think a little bit.
Awesome, man. What's your name?
Jonah.
Jolan?
Jonah.
I'm Jack. It was a really good conversation, brother. Honestly, man, you're switched on and it sounds like...
Bro, you're posting this on TikTok or something?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Instagram, maybe TikTok too, yeah.
What's your name?
Do you have your phone?
It's empty, but maybe I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, man. All right, buddy. Have a good one. That's good. He was very open-minded by the end of it, and he realized that he had no excuses and he would go vegan today. But he needs to think about it. And I said, if you keep thinking about it, animals are going to be shot every day you choose to do that. So you've got to make the right decision.